as what it says, he's the Australian swagman. This is Son of Godzilla, requested by YouTube user Miguel Durant. Hopefully I didn't butcher your name, but also backed up by Amanda1771 and Jeffy2001. So yeah, Son of Godzilla.
Son of Godzilla is a 1967 Showa Toho film that introduces the world to, unsurprisingly, Godzilla's son. A lot of people probably dislike the music here, and it certainly isn't as good as the classic Ifukube scores, but it's not bad, and it fits the scenes very well. Almost too well, seeing as most of the time the music is accompanying very boring scenes, like picking flowers or a guy being a creep that watches girls in the distance. Even with the atmosphere of the movie being very different in both tone and setting to the majority of the series, it's a father-son story away from the busy bustles of society, the movie still has that charm, the feeling that almost every Showa Godzilla film comes with, which is both exciting and comforting. Most of the projection techniques are well done, from people running on the beach away from Godzilla to burning ripped-off monster appendages. I like how Godzilla's atomic breath stays on the enemies to simulate them sort of burning. Additionally, breath versus web is cool looking. Speaking of cool looking, kaiju fight in the snow is pretty unique, especially with the physical snow effects. Plus, it leads into the ending, which, spoiler alert, is Godzilla and Minya being covered in snow along with the island, and going into a state of forced hibernation, which I love actually. It's my favorite part of this movie and one of the most memorable endings to a Godzilla movie, period. I guess the antagonist monsters in Son of Godzilla are Kamunga and Kamacuras, or Spiga and Gigantus, a giant spider and a giant praying mantis respectively. Their designs are nothing innovative, but they do look good, and I like how they aren't just rubber suits. Instead, they are more like elaborate puppets, and their movements on screen look fantastic. You can see some wires, but considering how many there probably were, it's impressive that so few pop up in the final product. That being said, the fact that the only two non-Godzilla-kin monsters in this movie are giant versions of normal creatures is pretty disappointing. The monster story is just Minya growing up, and it's nothing special. The human story is just as bad, following a group of scientists attempting to control the weather, and then later on get off the island. The first scene in this movie is this awful shot of Godzilla. The projection technique isn't believable at all, but what's worse is Godzilla himself. Look at him. A lot of people say 98 Genozilla is the worst design, but look at this thing. At least the 98 design could look cool in promotional materials. The actual rubber suit looks extra rubbery. I feel like I never think about it because I'm so used to seeing rubber monster suits, and well, it just looks like what my giant monsters are supposed to look like, to be honest. But here, there's like big folds of rubber around Godzilla and Minya's necks at times, and it doesn't look natural at all. This movie is slow. Maki Goro, not to be confused with the Shin Godzilla character, is a reporter who forces his way into a private operation, which is a character that surprisingly shows up in far too many kaiju movies for such a far-fetched concept. I talked about how bad the first shot of Godzilla was. Well, here's our first glimpse of Minya, Son of Godzilla. Horrific. And his squeal? Awful. This is my least favorite thing in all of the Godzilla movies. Give me Ichiro making monster noises over this any day. Aside from the squeal, he also sometimes does a donkey noise, and I can't for the life of me see how the production team thought that that was a good idea. One last thing, the comedy isn't good, like, at all.
That was Son of Godzilla. Still my least favorite Godzilla movie, even under the anime trilogy and Godzilla's Revenge. But it's far from my least favorite movie. It's not even counting the ones I can't sit through, which, believe it or not, there's a lot. I've sat through Son of Godzilla a lot of times, so that's saying something. So does that show a charm. If you have any movies, TV shows you want me to review, leave a comment below, even though the next review I'm going to do is Gamera vs. Baragon, because I want to watch that too. Thanks for watching.
Oh,